Hello, Leo. Welcome or welcome back to My Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for what's left of January and beginning of February 2021. Welcome to the beginning of this new year. I hope you're well, Leo. How are you, Leo? It's been a lot going on, hasn't it? This is a general reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it just doesn't. Also, check out the readings for the other aspects, Sun, Moon, Rising, whatever, to get a bigger picture. Okay, let's see what's going on with my dear Leo. Well, look at you. 10 of Cups. That's a good place to be, Leo. All right, what's the challenge now? What's the challenge for my dear Leo? Okay. 5 of Wands. Very typical Leo. And the Moon as challenge. Okay, so what's the advice for my dear Leo? It feels good to connect to your energy. Okay, what's the advice for Leo? It's a lot of advice, my dear. Okay, let's take it. Ace of Wands, Justice, and the Page of Pentacles. Okay. Very interesting. And what's the future energy? What's this building up towards? The Page of Cups. Lovely. And bottom of the deck we have the Queen of Cups as the theme of your reading. This is the overall process of this month from don't fall please, of the overall process for this month, but a month from when you're actually viewing this. Please don't do that, my dear. Okay, well. Let's clarify this cards before we go deeper into this. Why is the 10 of Cups here? Please. Why is the 10 of... Oh, there you go. Strength. That's your card, my dear. And in this deck, quite beautifully pictured. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot, for those who are wondering. Okay, why are the 5 of Wands and the Moon here as challenge? Why are these cards jumping on the floor, Leo? Probably need some grounding here. Yes, it comes as advice, so okay. And why are these cards here as advice? Please clarify this pile of advice. Very jumpy. Mother of Swords. And why is the Page of Cups here as future energy? Mother of Pentacles. And bottom of the deck we have the Son of Wands with the Queen of Cups as your theme, the theme of your reading. Okay, darling, I'll take a moment to just take this in. Okay, so the Queen of Cups with the Son of Wands as your theme. The underlying energy, the process, the overall process for you this month is around being a beautiful empathic, caring, loving person, whilst also taking the time to be yourself and to be by yourself, to take your time to recharge, to feel, to reflect, to sort of like cleanse your mind and your emotional body and your energetic body and all that, so that it gives you space for your own personal growth, you know. This is a very interesting, say, pair of cards together, because the Queen of Cups, yeah, she's incredibly reflective. She's like the super emotionally aware person that can be a very good emotional support to others. She's very empathic or empathetic, or how do you want to call it? She's very in touch with her own emotions, but she can also get overwhelmed with other people's emotions. You know, like when we really take upon ourselves other people's problems, we kind of get charged with it, and it can be hard to always be in the emotional field of other people and always have to cater for their needs and their emotions. So the Queen of Cups is a good reminder of like taking the alone time, taking really the alone time to be with the everything, you know, go by a body of water, watch the river, take a bath. Water is significant, but it's also like being present with your emotions and allow for reflection time. And see how this Son of Wands is depicted like this snake growing on like going up on this like wand, and you see all this expansion growing. And I perceive this also kind of like in the crown chakra, because it's like quite up, you know. I think that this reflection time will allow you this amazing, yeah, as I said, like expansion, growth, and opening that comes from within yourself. But this is Sagittarius energy, the Son of Wands, and this is symbolizing you know, finding your own truth and expanding your mental and spiritual awareness, and allowing, you know, to allowing yourself to be the individual that you are. Sagittarius as an archetype is very individualistic, is very like, you know, yeah, can be nice, can be can hang out, can enjoy, but it can also be very yeah, as I said, individual. Now, Leo, you're a fixed sign, you're fire sign as well, right? And you can be very nurturing to the people around you. You're all about the family, you're all about the group, you're all about the ones that you care about. And that's very beautiful. You definitely have this Queen of Cups energy of like really holding space. Um, and balancing this out is not always an easy task, but then this is a queen, so I think it's showing mastery. You're reaching that point of mastery, or you have the opportunity to do so. Current energy, 10 of Cups with the Strength. I think as I said, you're in a good place. You're in a good place right now. You feel good with yourself. You feel good with your home environment, with your friendships, with your family, with your, I don't know, relationships of all kinds. And maybe there's a balance going in there. There's like a certain type of feeling of fulfillment, and that makes you feel like really in your element, feeling like you have the strength of a lion, really, like you can um, do everything you put your mind to. And it allows you also to show up in a vulnerable way. And you see this lion is holding this rose here, showing that even though it's powerful and strong, can be gentle. It doesn't need to chew or break the flower, which is sensitive, and you know. Um, And I see the symbol of infinity right on the third eye. I'm thinking of also like being able to really stay connected to your this intuition and creative power, being really connected to the inner wisdom and the wisdom of the universe, if that even makes sense to you. So yeah, a really good place. What seems to be challenging though is that you may feel the need to perform. You may feel the need that you need to show up in a certain way, whether it's this, like, I don't know, the Queen of Cups, the super nurturing person, or this Leo showing your strength around, or the Sagittarius archetype, the independent and the truth speaker, or whatever. You may feel the need to really prove something. I have something to prove. And that usually comes from some type of fear, a fear that you're not, like, this is gonna end, this joy, or this balance, or that you're gonna fall short somehow, this is too good to be true, or that, like, aspects of yourself that aren't seen, that are hidden, will show up and will break the party and things like this, making you like having to prove yourself even harder. But you see, this Three of Wands comes here, and I absolutely love the depiction of this particular Three of Wands in this deck, because it shows these wands creating this beautiful space right in within, like it's creating a space for an alchemy to happen on its own. And that's your own space. This is why you need this reflection time. Because okay, it's normal to have fears, it's normal to have performative sides of ourselves, and it's nice sometimes to show a little bit, like to show off a little bit. It's fun. Why not? Why not? Be a little bit competitive. It's perfectly fine, as long as it doesn't become detrimental. But this comes in a challenging position, so it means that it has the potential to be detrimental unless taken with like mindfulness and care. So I think that, yeah, when you have this reflection time, you can see the opposing forces, the one that's like very nurturing, very caring, and the one that maybe needs a lot of space for expansion and growth, and find the right balance for that within yourself and within your relationships. And trust yourself to be able to do so. This is a skill that really requires trust in oneself. And whenever the fear comes in, where in however way you feel like, I don't know, the rug will be pulled under your feet, or that you're gonna be falling short, or that if you're seen in this way or in this other way, or if you don't not performing at your best in your best qualities as you are now, or as you've been, as you can be sometimes, the most loving and the most caring, or if you take too much space, or if you put boundaries, or if you blah 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 blah, then somehow you will lose something. So feeling again the need to perform and to show that you are worthy. You are worthy for sure. You are worthy for sure. And these fears are only eternal. And sometimes in the outside world can reflect a little bit that back at us. But that's just for you to create a container for you to process that experience and understand where the wound is, what the fear is, and be able to nurture that for yourself. Now let's go into the advice. Ta-da! Ace of Wands. Oh, come on. These two are very cool together, because this is also just a wand, and you see the expansion, and the Ace of Wands is literally like poof, comes from air with insight, and with like it's like an awakening. It's a moment of awakening when you realize something from deep inside your core, the core of your being, that inner wisdom. It's not just the intellect, the superficial intellectual understanding superficial in the sense that, okay, it's just intellectually, it's not registering at a deeper level. This is insight. This is real, something that you just know within yourself. And it's intuition, it's a passion, it's a, as I said, like a light clicks in, not clicks in, lights don't click in, Andrea. It just gets turned on suddenly within yourself. And with the justice here, I think you're being, interestingly enough, in this deck, well, apparently I started a little bit of problem in a tarot, in the weight deck. He famously switched the justice and strength numbers of the cards, and in the weight deck the number 8 is what's it called, strength, and in the wild unknown they were switched back. But it's interesting that it's the same number, right? Number 11. And in numerology, number 11, it reduces back to 2, which is again emotional energy of like feminine, emotional, the subconscious, the moon type of energy. But also, if you look at the major arcana, generally from 1 to 10, it's a very specific type of cycle. And then from 10 to 21 is the second type of the cycle. So it's definitely a growth after you've put in a lot of work. And it shows up in this particular reading, both in the emotional plane, having to do with your fire, with your passion, with your emotion, with connection, with a good command of your emotional energy, and with justice at the mind plane, being able to really understand and balance out your mind, your thoughts, your awareness, your the conclusions you make about yourself, about the world, about others, about all this. So it's actually quite beautiful, and you're getting this insight. You're being advised to pay attention to it. You're being advised to keep the balance of your mind, stay in this connection, understand the karmic cycle that's going on without taking things too much personally and to the heart, like things that fears that had been following us our entire life are our own, and whatever situation you find yourself in, may mirror back those fears, but they were there before the situation appeared. This is what this karmic like justice is telling you. Like when you make the conclusions, balance it out based on the whole story, and understanding that those fears are not necessarily justified. I mean, they're justified why they were there, of course, like they were put there for a reason based on previous experience and so on, but at the same time, this is new energy, this is new time, we're in the present moment. Sometimes we can project our fears, sometimes we can project our past and self-fulfilling prophecies and things like that. So understanding that putting this on a bigger context as a soul journey or as your life journey, you much easier to see what's really going on, and to see when you're maybe going over the top with trying to perform, or trying to be the caretaker, or with trying to be the individual, or been trying to show strength, or blah 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 blah. And you are able to balance it down. You're able to balance it down because you see the big picture. You're not caught into the story. You're not caught into the character anymore. You're able to see the character, you're seeing it and can relate to it, like, okay, yeah, I see you, the performing side of me. Hello, very nice to see you again. What's the fear behind it? What triggered this side of me? Okay, ooh, la 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 la, okay, it's this fear. I'm here with you, I got it. So you don't get caught into being the character, but into relating to the character. Does it make sense? And you can do that definitely from the Page of Pentacles, because you can ground, you can get into your body. This is how we can access this deep wisdom. It's from the body, it's not from the mind. And this is how we manage to keep this connection to our higher self, to this higher perspective of a karmic life journey or life's journey, depending how you interpret the world. And with the Mother of Swords, again, as advice, it comes in also with like learning to understand your own boundaries and to learn to communicate them smoothly. Also, see when you're becoming maybe overprotective with yourself, or I don't know, either protecting the child that wants to grow, either protecting wanting to be perceived in a certain way and trying to protect that image. Just be careful. Don't act based on old wounds, but see what's really in front of you. It may be something completely different. Once you breathe into it, get into your body, feel into it, and separate what's fear and what's intuition, and following the intuition. And that's an interesting one, discernment between fear and intuition. But that can be felt at the body. When you're in your mind, is not that easy. I hope it makes sense to you. It's hard to explain these things for only to the mind. I think people that would get this had already had the experience of being in their body fully in a mindful way. So I hope you get it, this message, and doesn't, it's not just words to you. It can be just words. It happens. And from that place, from being connected, from understanding your body and the messages that it gives you, where you feel the emotions, the fear it's being felt in the body, say in the lower part, like in the abdomen more, like where the diaphragm is, you can feel like, well, this, at least that's how I feel it mainly, but I've also heard other accounts, see where you feel it, and it feels like you want to close down, like you want to pull yourself in a fetus position. That's how you can recognize that fear. Okay, how do I feel intuition? How do I feel what's the guiding voice, the guiding wisdom within me? Well, that actually comes with an opening, with an expansion, not with a closing. So you can feel that in your body. That's your guide. You don't need more than that. And from there, you're learning to communicate. Okay, now I need some time alone, and I can do that very mindfully. The Mother of Swords can be a little bit cutting it all off, a little bit too harsh, because she's been through everything, all the possible pains on the world, and she just doesn't want to get vulnerable or exposed. So you may show this whole behavior sometimes, or you may encounter it around you. Understand where it comes from. It comes from pain, for sure. It comes from past pain. But as long as you stay grounded in your body and connected to the big picture, then this will not necessarily going to be an issue. You will be able to be mindful whichever side of this story you are. You're the one being sometimes turning too cold or too harsh, or you're receiving that, and you're able to understand what is it that you really need, or when is it time for you to take space, or when is it time for you to become nurturing and caring, or is it time for you to recharge, and so on. When can you come out and shine and be authentic, or when are you actually in a performing mode trying to prove something. Okay, that's a long message. I mean, I don't know. To me, it makes sense. I hope it makes sense to you. Page of Cups and Mother of Pentacles as future energy. I think like this whole process that what you're learning here, balancing this out and really enjoying the space you find yourself in of fulfillment and joy, without having to act out of fear, but rather learn to soothe and nurture yourself and stay grounded and communicate and see the big picture and all that, allows you to be very, very beautifully open. It brings brings forth an openness of the heart, which is childlike, and feeling that you can offer of yourself in a innocent way. really, it's a heart opening, and you see, there's a fish in this cup, a page of cups. Talks about like messages also from your subconscious mind, messages from your emotional world. Yeah, sometimes can feel a little bit naive and shaky, but that's okay. You have the Mother of Pentacles here to you have the part of yourself that can take care of this more childlike part of yourself. And I like that it comes literally a mother with a child. You see the what is this? A deer mother with a deer child. It's showing me that you have the strength, you have the balance, you have the capacity to be very self-nurturing in this, and the moment you were creating the right balance between how much you give and how much you take, and how much you shine and how much you just listen and be on the ta 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 nurturing side, then you're like, as I said, like coming with a beautiful, beautiful heart opening um that is beautiful. It's just so beautiful. It's beautiful for other people to be at the perceiving or receiving end of that. It's beautiful for you because you can feel really purely in love with life, and cared for and safe with yourself. So it's just, yeah, it's an amazing process. Nice one, Leo. Now let's see what's the Rumi Oracle message for you. Is that a flip? Did I see a flip there? No, that's a flip. Oh wow, very interesting. That I did not expect. I don't really get it. Like, it doesn't seem to connect so well with the rest of the message. That doesn't happen very often to me. Usually this card really encompasses somehow the whole message and clarifies it better than I could express it myself. But this time, okay, let's read the poem. Maybe it gives a bit of perspective to this whole thing. Let me see. 12. It's called Divine Discontent. Okay, so Divine Discontent says, winter falls upon us, so spring can bring new growth. Cry the tears, allow the longing. Sadness brings surrender and a deep desire to be free. Rumi. There is a sense within you, perhaps quite obvious to your conscious mind, or perhaps only dimly registered as an unnameable underlying sense of anxiety, that something in your life is not quite right. It may be the sense, even amongst so much gratitude, of a yearning yet to be met, a longing yet to be fulfilled and satisfied. This is the pain of the awakening heart. That heart is capable of bliss and ecstatic reverence for the sheer beauty and wonder of creation. Yet, as the heart matures, there will be a process of deep passionate longing that awakens for the divine. It is the impatience for the caress of the great lover, for the presence of the divine to come to you. Over time, that longing will grow from a mild inner sense of incompleteness, needing to become whole. It will develop into a holy fever, a sacred rage, a stamping of dancing feet, a pounding of fists upon the altar, and a longing so deep and distressing that one may well break into tears at the impossibility of bearing the pain of apparent separation for even a moment longer. As devotion grows and passion for the divine intensifies, so too does this yearning. So much so that this may come to feel as though your heart is breaking for the divine. Or perhaps you're not quite there yet. Your heart is attached to smaller gods such as your status, your job, your lover, your body looking a certain way, or being able to live your life in a particular way. These smaller gods are not necessarily an issue, yet you have drawn this oracle, and so it's guidance for you that the divine wants to draw you closer. Sometimes that means we will have the meager meal wrested from our hand, so we may feast upon something far more delectable and grand. The divine is a fiercely possessive lover. If there is a face of another beloved preventing you from longing for the divine embrace, and if you cannot see that it is the divine beloved within your lover that you are loving, well then something will be done by the heaven. So make your relationships sacrosanct. Seek the divine in all things. When you cannot, when the power of lesser gods has you in its grip, acknowledge it, bear witness to it. Do not chastise. Instead, be truthful. Let your heart break and lie prostrate on the floor, hands clutching, and head bowed as though only your sadness and plight could steer the heart of the divine beloved into descent of succor and grace, saving you from a life far too blunt for your exquisite Epicurean palate. Just don't misinterpret the pain and think that something really is wrong. If you are surrounded by status and money and cannot understand why you should mourn, it is even more important that you allow yourself to do so. Mourning is to be felt, understanding is not so relevant. But if you must seek understanding, then know this. You are just waking up from the deepest slumber, and with your awakening heart, you are realizing a truth, a part of you, deeper and wider, vaster and more instinctive, truthful and intelligent than your mind, is lonely for the divine embrace. This is right. This is sensible. This is sanity. Is this the pain, the real noble pain of the heart that says there is something more than this inadequacy, this settling for plastic instead of precious gemstones that must end now? I cannot be fed but pixelated sunsets in animation upon the computer screen. I yearn to be blasted by so much radiance and beauty, by the real thing, that I become stupefied. I must witness so much divine splendor that all I can utter is some incoherent grunt. My mind is disassembled and my heart ignited by the presence of my beloved. I want to become a fumbling, ecstatic wreck in the presence of my beloved. I want to allow this pain, this yearning, this divine discontent to guide me to my holy lover, so my life may never be the same again. And so it shall be. The discontent divine growing within you is the beginning, not the destiny. Its purpose is to lead you into your greatest connection yet with divinity. Do not resist it, witness it. Do not dismiss it, trying to cover it up, its smell with rose petal. Let your rank discontent be the pathway to divinity. Look beyond what is, what has been prized and treasured, and is now found to be plated and not the precious gold it was once esteemed to be. Don't be scared, for you are my sidekick in this great holy adventure. Okay, I'm not going to read this part. It's a little bit too... But yeah, it does say this, like, let the stench be stench, then the fragrance of God can be discerned, and together we can leave what is left behind, and once for all grabbing like hungry school children for the divine bread with sweet fresh scent filling the air. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, okay, what I'm getting from this, like the way I'm putting it in context of this reading, is that it's connected to this fear that comes out. This fear that of inadequacy that maybe can show create this need to perform in this way, or to go into a role and to show off in whatever way. But like where that pain, where that fear is, it's because of some pain within that haven't had the chance to be mourned or to be cared for or to be nurtured and so on. So like this whole connection with the divine, this whole wholeness, it's about internal wholeness as well, being able to connect with all aspects of ourselves, to be self-nurturing, to be self-caring, to be our loving mother and our loving father and our loving child as well, and embody all these aspects. And even though sometimes we find ourselves in like the what looks like the best conditions, we can be surprised of like, why am I feeling this sadness? Why am I feeling this yearning? What am I yearning for? What you're yearning is like deeper connection with yourself, deeper connection with the divinity of yourself, with the divinity of the universe, and understanding that we are all on the same path, the path of love, and that somehow parts of yourself haven't received a certain type of love. And it's that yearning of reconnection with those aspects of yourself. This is my interpretation, but you can make your own based on your own intuition and all that. Okay, so I'm going to read a sacred honoring ritual. If you feel the call to do it, go for it. If not, just let it go, okay? Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly and say the following aloud. Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, guide me now. I acknowledge the gratitude in my heart, genuine and fierce, and I acknowledge the hunger for the divine unfolding in my belly, the urging forward towards some unknown, undescribable, sacred satiety. Guide me to the holy table where the true feast awaits. I am no longer satisfied by stale crumbs or the remnants of another's feast. I want to feast with the Holy One, the Great One, to know directly and for myself that I am divine. That's it. With your mercy, grace and wisdom, guide me there, dearest brother of my soul. I cast my soul into your care and follow my nose. I follow my nose towards the sweetest scent of the holy feast. Okay, so rest or stand up and dance your prayer. Just be with your body and how it wants to be to rest or move now. Whatever you choose, stay with your breath and with what feels truthful. And then say aloud, I release that which is not worthy for my soul to feast upon. I do not decide this for myself, from a place of distrust or judgment. I surrender my attachment and I trust in the sacred workings of my life to present to me what is needed. I surrender. I surrender in sacred trust. I surrender. May my life be governed by love for the greatest good and in holy service to love now. So be it. And you have finished your ritual. All right, dear Leo, I hope this makes sense to you. If you resonate with this reading, please like, share, subscribe, comment, you know the drill. And may our practice benefit all beings. See you here next month.